Hello, everyone. I'm Ian Smith here with FedSmith.com. I wanted to bring you an update today on the OPM retirement backlog. The latest figures for March 2026 just came out, and after hitting an all-time record high in February, it has reversed course in March and has come back down pretty significantly, actually. So let's dig into the numbers. Now, there are a lot of numbers in going through all this. I'm not going to get really deep and heavy into all the details, but I have written an article about this, and it's published on fedsmith.com. I'll be sure to leave a link in the description to that if you'd like to dig into the numbers a little bit further. But in today's video, I'm going to just try to touch on the high points and give you a broad overview of the current situation. I'm going to put this table up here on the screen for you to give you an overview. This shows the trending in the OPM retirement backlog for the first half of fiscal year 2026. We're now halfway through the government's fiscal year. And if that sounds kind of weird to you and think, whoa, wait, just remember that the fiscal year doesn't run concurrent with the calendar year. It starts in October. So as in the end of March, we're now 6 months through the fiscal year. And as you can see, the retirement backlog really spiked significantly. February 2026, as I said, was at an all-time high of 65,237 claims. But you see in March, it dropped by about 15% and it ended at 55,681. And the reason it dropped so much is because OPM processed 22,237 cases in March, more than double what they processed in October and November. So while the numbers did decrease significantly in March, we have to keep it in perspective because it is still pretty high. And while the trend has reversed, and that is good, in fact, the retirement backlog has been increasing every month since September. So this is the first month since last fall that it has finally reversed course. It is still extremely high, though, by historical standards. So just for example, as you saw in the table in October 2025, the backlog was only 34,587, so 28% lower just 6 months ago. And a year ago, in March 2025, at the end of March, the inventory was 16,794. That was 70% lower than it is as of the end of March 2026. So a big difference. And that's sort of become the new normal here in the last, at least for the government's current fiscal year, is these really high numbers in incoming retirement claims. And that, of course, is being driven by the large number of federal employees who've left the federal workforce throughout 2025 primarily. In fact, OPM reported that 271,825 federal employees have left since January 20th, 2025. Obviously, that's very unusual. And in years prior to that, the federal workforce was growing, not shrinking so much. So that's why we have this anomaly in these numbers. And a big factor that's driving this decline in the numbers in March is the growing number of digital retirement claims. OPM transitioned to its online retirement application, or ORA for short, last summer. And as the agency is transitioning more and more towards making all retirement claims digital, what we're seeing is that more and more of the incoming claims are digital, and they are in fact being processed much more quickly. And that's having a very positive impact in the situation. Here are some of the highlights for that. In January, there were 9,394 digital claims received. That's incoming retirement claims, which is 50% of the total. In February, there were 15,494 digital claims received, also 50% of the total. But in March, it actually went up to 60%, 8,830 total. And so as the number of digital claims is growing, that means faster processing times. So that's a quick overview of the current situation with the OPM retirement processing backlog. Like I said, I didn't want to get really deep into the numbers. If you're a numbers person and you like a lot of detail, I have gone into much more detail on some of the numbers in the article I wrote. And again, I will leave that in the description. But just to quickly recap again, March reversed a 6-month trend of the retirement backlog growing, and it shrank by about 15% last month total. And that was largely a result of the digital retirement claims, the share of incoming claims being processed digitally rather than the old style paper claims, which are much slower. In fact, OPM has reported that the digital claims are processed in about half the time. So it does make a significant difference when you look at the actual numbers. I hope you found this video helpful today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.